So you've paid your federal income tax and your state income tax, but did you know the city also wants a piece? Let's talk about the city business taxes that you might be responsible for. Your creative genius deserves the same precision behind the numbers.
Welcome to Let's Get Fiscal, hosted by Anastasia, Maisha, and Danielle.
Part of the women-led team at Coterie Tax.
From smart tax moves to cash flow strategy, we decode everything it takes to run a thriving creative business
so you can scale with confidence and sleep easy at night.
Press play and let's grow your business.
Welcome back. City taxes, compliance, all that fun stuff.
I know. This is the one subject that sometimes people just don't believe me on.
So wild. Yeah.
I know. Well, none of my friends are paying it, so why? Okay, well, your friends are going to get some letters too. Just you wait.
Yeah, no, for sure. Because I worked with you for a while, so we always have these dates in mind of there's something in February, there's something in March, there's something in April. It's as soon as you get through April, then we get a breathing room for 2 months, and then going from there. So city taxes. You want to start with the major ones of
So City of LA is going to be a big one that we deal with a lot. We have all kinds of other ones. San Francisco has taxes. Santa Monica has their own tax. I mean, because Los Angeles, it's not just Los Angeles, it's some of the little suburbs around, but not all of them. So sometimes even if you go across the street, now you're in unincorporated territory, so you don't pay and all of this fun stuff. And then even in Denver and Colorado, we have Boulder has the city taxes. There's a lot of things. And then even a home occupation license.
Yep.
So
I'm seeing more of those too. Yeah.
Right. A lot of the cities want you to register to say that you are doing business within their city, even if you are working from home and you are just taking Zoom calls and you are not doing anything. Number one, they want the fee that
always
filing, they get a little bit of money there. But number two, a lot of it is making sure, I think I've said it before, where you're not running a store out of your home. So even if it's a home occupation license, making sure that you're in the right zoning for what you're doing, that you're not, holding a ton of inventory and having a lot of clients come in and all of that fun stuff, just to make sure that you are in compliance with the rules of the city and you're operating. So I get a lot where people are, I'm a web developer. I don't even go outside.
Yeah. Exactly.
But it is still something that you need to take a look at because a lot of times, and especially City of LA, the way that they make their money is you're not in compliance. So now they'll catch you and they'll charge you. And if you had known about it and if you had been filing properly, you probably wouldn't have to pay anything at all. But now they've got you and you're going to have to pay $150, $200 when if you had filed when you should have, you wouldn't owe it at all. So
they like to get you with that one, that 228, 229 on the leap years. Deadline. Yep.
So the City of LA tax, it's due if you work within the city limits for more than 3 days out of a year. So
such a low bar. They're like, we're gonna get all y'all.
So I even tell people, if you're flying in from out of state or doing something, you need to be a little bit careful, because if you're consistently doing projects in the city of Los Angeles, you are going to need to file for the City of Los Angeles business tax. And while they do only charge tax on what's earned within the city, you have to know it to separate it out. And then there's also certain exemptions that creatives really get to take advantage of. So the City of LA, they'll charge anywhere between 1 and 2% of, they call it your gross receipts. So that is the cash, all of the money that you received before you take away any expenses.
Yes.
So that's where it also gets a little bit tricky because, if you made $200,000, but your selling t-shirts or something, you don't write off the cost of the t-shirts all the time. Or, trainers, you're paying tax on what you collected for all of the classes, but not the costs that you had to pay for all the trainers and things. So it's definitely something that you have to budget for as you get into those higher income brackets. But if you are creative and they have like a nice fun list of everyone that they consider creative, so musicians, writers, actors, photographers, if you fall under one of those creative profiles, then they will give you an exemption for the first $300,000 day.
Which is amazing.
Right.
Because a lot of times then that will like zero out your taxes for that. But there's like a caveat that you can only do that, right? Unless like if you do it by the due date and that's it. But if you don't get that exemption, right? Yeah. That's where they're like, you can get this, but you got to file. Yeah. Yeah.
So if you earn $50,000, you file on time, you're not going to owe anything.
Yep.
But if you file on March 1st, the day after the deadline, then you're going to owe
percentage of that gross receipts you had. Yep. Yeah.
So, and they do also do something for production companies. It's based on kind of your production budget but for most of them that we deal with, it's about $150 flat fee.
Yeah.
Because you're receiving the production budget. So it's like, so I'm supposed to pay 2% tax on a production budget that isn't even really mine.
Yeah.
So there is a workaround for production companies in that manner, but really making sure that you're classifying your business properly with the city of LA makes a difference because their system is so, like, it's not intuitive at all.
It's really not. I have read it many times and I still will go back and read it if I have to help someone get set up. I'm just like, okay, what bucket do you actually fit in?
Because what ends up happening is you have to choose one option, and based on that selection that you made, it'll give you sub options and it kind of like maps itself out. So what we have is we have like a full map so that we can say, okay, this is the ending point that we want to get to.
So let's just work our way back. Okay, we got to make that choice. Yeah.
Right. Because when you choose your business code and your business type, it might not always be as intuitive as you think.
Yep.
I think there was somebody who they were reselling tickets for concerts and somehow they ended up being like an auctioneer.
Oh, okay. That's like, how did we end up here?
Right. So that's the way, the starting questions, they start out, really benign. But then when you get to the end, you're like, but none of these options make any sense.
Yeah.
So that's where the city of LA, the application can get a little bit tricky. But the city of LA, what they do look at the tax returns, and that's kind of what they're looking for. So if you file a tax return and the address on the return, or, you say that your physical address is going to be in Los Angeles, or even when you file your statement of information and you say where the business is located, if it's within one of those zip codes that they consider theirs, then they're going to take a look. They're going to send you a letter. Yep. And I'm seeing a lot more of those letters come in.
Yeah, they used to be like little postcards that will come through, and it's always like a bright color. Did they change that up?
No, that's their notification. So if you have an account, then they'll send you a little postcard.
Okay, that's why they get
as a reminder. Okay. And it's like super bright yellow.
Yeah. Look at me.
And then they'll also send you the paper filing.
Oh, yeah.
But if you don't have an account set up and you don't necessarily know about it, then that's when, April or May,
you might get a notice.
You'll get a letter, which is coincidentally after that exemption no longer applies. So making sure that you are aware of where you're working, what the regulations are in that city, especially in the Los Angeles area.
Yeah.
Really makes a difference, and it is something that you'll have to do. And like I said, if you're under that exemption threshold, as long as you file by the end of February, you won't owe anything. So it's an annoying piece of paperwork, but a lot of things in business, it's just a lot of paperwork all the time. And the moment that you don't file that piece of paperwork, that's when you're going to have different fines and things.
And just
So,
fees you didn't have to pay if you had just did it before. Yeah. They do
mhm.
have that cool tool though for like, and it is online, I believe, with finding if your zip code fits into the thing. So like you can type that in and be able to figure out if you're like in there or not, right?
Right, because the difficulty becomes the zip code is the location of your post office. So it's not
Okay.
so it says that the post office is in this city, but that doesn't necessarily mean that your home itself is within those city limits.
Trickier and trickier.
So
Okay.
if your address says Los Angeles, then okay, that's going to be.
We gotta
But
do this,
if you're in one of those areas that's potentially unincorporated, then it's good to look at the actual address. Or Beverly Hills is a big one because City of Beverly Hills has their own tax, but some is inside Los Angeles, so you have to really look at what is the actual address here and which city does it belong to.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So yeah.
Super fun. Yeah.
And then New York City, they also have a tax. They have the regular New York City tax when you file your personal return, but also they have a corporate tax.
Yeah.
So when you're operating an S corporation or considering converting over to an S corporation in New York, you have to remember that in New York City, there's an extra, it's like 8.5%, 9% tax that you have to pay once you do the conversion to an S corporation.
Gotcha.
So if you're a single member LLC, you're not filing that return. But once you convert that single member LLC into the S corporation, then you do. But the idea is if you stayed the single member LLC, then you'd be subject to Social Security and Medicare, which is 15, 16%.
Okay. So it's a higher percentage there versus the corp.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you get charged Social Security and Medicare on the entire profit. So when you convert over to the S corporation, you pay the Social Security and Medicare on your reasonable compensation. But the additional profit isn't subject to that 15%. In New York City, it would be subject to that New York City corporation tax, but it's still less.
Yeah. 8 or 9% versus the 15. Okay. Is this one of those ones that's like super clear? Did they get a notice before? Nope. Not clear at all? Okay.
Nope.
You just got to know.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly. And even tax software won't necessarily notify you.
Interesting. Yeah.
So,
okay.
You really have to make sure that it's a tax preparer that knows the area, because there's definitely certain states where people say, like, if I look at it and the tax preparer's address is not within this state, then I know it's going to be wrong. Just because they're so complex and they have separate districts. And that's why you see a lot of tax preparers just specialize in a small number of states, because the federal taxes are not necessarily always the state income, tax laws, because they can make up whatever they want. So you have to be really careful in that way.
Like be very familiar with what's going on and stuff. Yeah. No, I mean, that's fair. If you don't know and you're not ever there and you don't ever really do those as tax returns, like it would make sense that maybe you would miss the New York Corp one or whatnot. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Especially when you do the conversion over to the S corporation and you're like, oh, okay, I'm going to do all of this thing. And then all of a sudden you have a $10,000 tax bill when you file your business return. You're like, okay. Yeah.
What up in here? Yeah. Okay. So just being aware, Google search at least if you don't have a tax professional in your corner just yet. Yeah. Like something of just like, are there things? Because
Right. Yeah. I mean, you want to just basically assume that whatever city you're in is going to require you to file something. So it's either going to be a home occupation license, a business license, or they'll have that annual business tax that you'll have to pay. So making sure that you're aware of that, making sure that you're asking your tax professional if they're doing that for you, or just kind of keeping an eye on it yourself.
Yeah. So being really aware of what to ask when you talk to your tax professional, like, where's that compliance at? Yeah. Okay.
Yep. So really, as a business owner, you're kind of hit from all sides.
Yep.
Just when you thought you were done, the city's going to come in.
Yeah.
and say, not so fast, mister.
We want a little piece of the pie. Yeah. Okay. No, that's good to know.
Yep. But there's definitely ways that you can mitigate it, make it as low as possible by being aware of it, filing on time, and meeting all of those requirements.
Yeah.
So
knowing what exemptions you might qualify for and stuff like that too. Yep. Nope. That's awesome.
Yep. So that is a little bit about city taxes that you may need to look into after this. So feel free to put a comment below or send us an email and we will take a look.
Bye, guys.
That's a wrap on Let's Get Fiscal. Ready to stop guessing and start saving? Click the link in the show notes,
Grab your consult and let's make your business work for you.
not the other way around. You've got this.